All right, what's up, guys? So we are here today, Sajak and Sajeev. We are here to discuss completely about WrestleMania 36, the only WrestleMania too big for one night. That's what we have got the information about. So, uh, first off, it's WrestleMania. During the situation, the pandemic going on, COVID-19, and lots of other stuff. Lots of other stuff affecting. We were not even sure to begin with. We're not even sure if WrestleMania will go through. Lots of NFL, lots of big sports being cancelled, lots of live events being cancelled. We're not even sure that WrestleMania will go through, but uh, WWE decided to set a new attendance record for this WrestleMania and do it in the performance center with zero live audience. I think um, you know like being a big fan of WrestleMania and looking forward to the event throughout the year, I did not think that was a you know like great idea. But from business point of view, I understand. Uh, I do understand. I don't understand, but I think I should now. But all right. So starting off, we had Cesaro versus Drew Gulak in the pre-show, right? So Sazag, let me know your thoughts on it. What do you think about this match?
Yes, Ajit. WrestleMania, too big for one night, I guess. Hosted by Rob Gronkowski. So basically, Drew Gulak versus Cesaro, right? I mean, it was a good match to start with. I mean, they're two great performers in the ring. I'm sure you know about it. Drew
Hmm.
Gulak, a perfect mat wrestler, and Cesaro. We don't have to talk about Cesaro's ring capabilities,
Hmm.
right? So yeah, the match was pretty good for a pre-show, right? They actually it was a
Yep.
good match. I mean, nothing much to discuss about here. And Cesaro getting the win on Drew Gulak, it was like really awesome. I mean, Cesaro doesn't win often. All right, and I was astonished because Drew
That is
Gulak
right.
was red
Hmm.
hot at this point of time. So like with Daniel Bryan, he was red hot, and then
Hmm.
all of a sudden Cesaro. That doesn't happen often in WWE, right? So what are your thoughts on?
I think right. I think I love Cesaro, right? He is amazing athlete. He's got amazing strength and all the things that he can do. That's unbelievable.
Absolutely.
And like you said, yes, he doesn't win a lot of matches. I'm not even sure last when what was the match that he won last time, the singles match. I'm sure he won a couple of matches when he was in a tag team with Sheamus, but I really don't remember like if he have won any matches in recent years, any single matches. But this was he won it. Drew Gulak, the
Hmm.
another guy, who is great. He was great in 205 Live. I loved him, for his performance there,
Absolutely.
and all his all these everything that he did in 205, like the PowerPoint presentation that he used to come out with, and I think he is great, and I love the match. It was it was just like 4 or 5 minutes match at max, but still it was entertaining. It was good. I loved it. Yeah.
Totally, Sergio. Totally. It was an awesome
Now,
match,
one
and
thing, look, I would like to ask, let's say Cesaro, you know how amazing he is.
of course,
He
this is all
is,
good. Yes.
and everybody accepts that he's underutilized. Now,
Hmm.
what do you think? If Cesaro is to be utilized, who should be the opponent for him? Like a legitimate opponent for him. If he is to go for a storyline from here.
If he is to go for a storyline, I think like no better than Sami Zayn, Sergio. I mean, they're actually called the
Uh-huh.
Artist Collective, and then I'm sure
Uh-huh.
they've got a great in-ring abilities, Sami Zayn as well as Cesaro.
Right.
And in the
Right.
near future, I'd like to see them battle it out. I mean, that would be a
Mm-hmm.
mouth-watering feud. And Sami Zayn and Cesaro,
Yeah.
like you actually, Cesaro doesn't even like need to win that match. He can go with Sami Zayn for about 20-25 minutes, and then
Mm-hmm.
like you can build Cesaro from there again. If you want to start Cesaro
Right.
to like bring in like give him a big role in the WWE, and you start like from the base itself, you actually can put him on the like with the feud with Sami Zayn. And yeah, you can
Hmm.
actually like get the most. So you don't actually Cesaro doesn't
Got it.
need a win here. You can go 20-25 minutes. I'm sure. I
Right.
mean, like it'll be a five-star
I
match for
think
sure.
right.
So,
You know,
so
yes, I think you are right. And at this point of time, I'm really looking forward for the R-Tip collection, like to have a triple threat match in the near
oh
future. Like
yeah,
all three of
yeah,
them completely, like they are great guys, great performers, and one of them has the belt. Like if they start feuding over that belt, and one day if I get to see like triple threat between Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Cesaro, like I will not ask for anything more.
undoubtedly, undoubtedly. So now the show is officially like started, and you can see Rob Gronkowski. Oh my
Oh,
God,
all
Rob
right. So
Gronkowski.
Gronk,
I was like,
Rob Gronkowski
we've seen
was the
Austin.
host for this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've
Hmm.
seen Austin hosting WrestleMania. We've seen The Rock. We've seen
Uh,
okay, Alexa.
hmm.
We've seen New Day. I mean, and
Alexa
all
Bliss.
of a sudden, Rob
Yeah.
Gronkowski. Most of the viewers outside the United States don't even know who he is. To be honest, I mean, even I
Yeah.
knew
To be honest,
once.
that is right.
Yeah, so even I knew
He's
once.
a big NFL guy.
Uh huh.
I'm sorry there. So he is a big NFL guy. He got big name in United States, but like lots of people out of the states, like really know him. Does not even know, like who he is. And on top of that, like people hardly know Rob Gronkowski at the time out of United States, and he has his friend with him
Hmm.
co-hosting the show, Mojo
Rawley.
Rawley.
Yeah, another one. Like
Uh,
another character. Let's
so
put it that way.
yeah, I don't think I was not a big fan of Gronk
No,
hosting the WrestleMania,
absolutely
but still,
not.
we got him.
What did he actually do, man? Hosting WrestleMania. I actually like it's kind of his presence is just nullified. I mean, I can't see him doing much in the show apart from booking
I,
the match between Elias and King Corbin. Right?
Wow, that was a big move of his. But like to be honest, I don't even think like WrestleMania really needs a host.
Absolutely.
Like this is like it's WrestleMania. Like this does not need any host. It like all the matches are like booked already. You need couple of promos if you want, but I really don't think WrestleMania needs a host. But
Yeah,
still, that's
absolutely.
okay if they want to. Like maybe it is to get some more viewership. I don't know, but
All
that's
right.
what we got.
So we begin the show with the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, taking on Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross for the Women's Tag
Hmm.
Team Championship. Your thoughts, Sergi?
Yep, I loved it. I don't have any other words for this match.
Uh-huh.
I think I think Nikki Cross and Asuka were impressive. I've always loved Kairi Sane and her insane elbow drop. I've loved all those, and like everybody were impressive. They got a decent time of decent match,
Hmm.
and I really thought uh, like Kabuki Warriors had a long range,
Hmm.
and people were getting sick and tired of it because they were
Hmm.
not defending the title and
Hmm.
stuff. But I
Hmm.
really loved that, loved seeing them with those titles, and I
Uh-huh.
wanted them to retain, but but let's say that, but still, Bliss and Cross got are the new tag team champions. But I don't have anything to complain about this match.
Yeah, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross winning it. It's a good thing actually because the way Asuka, especially during this time, like this crisis, Asuka is doing everything. I mean, she actually wrestled in the main event show
Hmm.
on Wednesdays. She actually is in Raw as well as in SmackDown. So she's everywhere, and like her charm in commentary, her charm while cutting promos. I mean,
Ah.
that's absolutely brilliant. I mean, she's a gold dust for WWE. To be honest, I mean, she does everything, and like yeah. I think Asuka and Kairi Sen, of course, from NXT days itself, like she was tremendous Indian competitor. No second thought
Hmm.
about it. I actually would like to see a singles run for Kairi Sen. I mean, like how actually she can get her way through the roster. I mean, we actually would like to actually, to be frank, I actually would like to see Kairi Sen wrestle in a singles match, of course, rather than tag team. So,
Hmm.
like putting that into perspective, this was a really I mean, great decision from WWE. And again, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross being the champions, like yeah, that might just like up, like just make the women's tag team championship significant. What can I say?
Yeah. Hmm. And actually, what I would like to see,
Hmm.
like maybe Io Shirai can come to the main roster and join the Kabuki Warriors, and they become a faction. Like
Oh yeah,
they, like they challenge for every title in the WWE.
yes, you're right.
Just a thought. But still, there are rumors going around that the reason Kabuki Warriors dropped the title is because Kairi Sane's contract is coming up, and
Oh,
she's not willing to sign it anymore. Sign the new deal. So
oh yeah,
that was, as per the rumors, that was one of the reasons they dropped the title.
yeah, she is looking for some
Mm.
options elsewhere, like maybe back to
Yeah,
Japan
she's
or like
looking
even
for
Io
options.
Shirai. I mean, like her contract is up
Yeah.
as well, and I have not heard from the WWE that she signed a new deal with them. So yeah, we have to wait and see. This is like we just
Yeah.
have to wait and see.
I, I would really hate to see them go. Those are like those are best characters I've seen in WWE, best foreign characters, which are being utilized properly after years and years. I think, but and I really would love to hate them go. I'm sorry, I would hate to see them go,
Yeah, yeah.
but if they goes out, like what maybe they would go to AEW. They desperately need some, like women's division over there.
Yes, yes, you just took words out of my mouth, Sajib. I was about to say the exact same thing. I mean, AEW, right? The women's division
Hmm.
is not so good, to be frank. I mean, there is
Hmm.
our AEW champion and Britt Baker,
Hmm.
maybe.
I'm
Other than that,
AEW champion. I'm
Nyla
at this
Rose.
point of time. I'm confused who the hell is AEW Women's Champion right now. It was some Riho had the title. She was the inaugural title, right?
Uh huh.
Title holder, and then it went to Nyla Rose, and I don't think it has gone anywhere from there. I'm not even sure if she's defending the title anymore. When was the last time she defended the title?
I don't remember. I don't remember when was the last time she
Yeah,
defended the title.
exactly, right?
But
That is why
AEW,
AEW desperately needs a women's division.
absolutely,
That's what I
absolutely.
think.
I completely agree to that, Sajib.
All right. So next, like the next, we have match between King Corbin and Elias. It was said, it was said by the host of WrestleMania, Gronk himself.
Yeah, the Gronk.
He made this match up. So what do you think about this match? There was speculation that Elias had a back injury
Uh
and
huh.
he will not be able to compete, and so WWE portrayed it that way as well.
He took a big fall from that podium place in the SmackDown
Yeah,
show, and then all of a sudden he's back. He doesn't show any signs of injury. A few
he's
band-aids
got a
around his
strong back.
shoulder. Yeah, and
He's
then
got a
he's all of
strong back, right?
yeah, all of a sudden he's back, and then this Elias character.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah, he
mm-hmm,
actually like is so over, yet like
mm-hmm.
WWE aren't utilizing him much. I mean, the
I
guy.
think yes, this guy has great mic skill, right?
Mhm, mhm,
I believe he can give a decent match as well,
mhm.
and
Yeah,
he
unquestionably,
is over as hell with the crowd. But
absolutely.
in the last year, he has turned face and turned heel again like hundreds of times. is just not sure either to cheer him or to boo him sometimes.
So yeah, actually, exactly. Like WWE aren't giving him a storyline to to build his character. I mean, how did he turn face, or how did he turn heel?
That is right.
There is
You know,
no explanation to that. So there's no continuity to his character, and that's just ruining Elias.
yeah, just last time, just a month ago, maybe he was, he had a faction with King Corbin and Drew McIntyre,
Yes,
and
and
now they're fighting for no reason, just because Gronk want them to fight,
absolutely right. So
right?
the lesser we talk about this, the better. The
Mm-hmm.
match was all right,
Better.
right? Again, the
Mm-hmm.
antics of
And
Elias.
one more thing, antiques allies and everything, in this empty when we are, let's say taping the match or doing the
Mhm,
match in an
mhm.
empty arena, what I
Yeah,
really feel is the commentary table should be as far as possible from the ring itself.
yes, my
What do you
goodness.
think?
You could actually hear Michael Cole's voice in the background, right? So, yeah,
Exactly.
while the,
When Elias just roll Baron Corbin, and he he had the tights.
mhm,
Michael was shouting in the background that he had the tights.
he
Now,
had the
I'm pretty
tights,
sure
yes.
that the referee heard him.
Again,
She
yeah,
should have heard him.
yeah, of course, and again, Elias again holding the tights now. That's something a
Hmm.
heel does, right? And he is portrayed as a face here. So exactly
Face.
that
Yeah.
doesn't do justice to his character or to any of his
Hmm.
storyline.
Yep.
And
Yep.
yeah,
I'm not sure. Right. I don't want to talk about this match anymore. It was okay. It was entertaining. I didn't expect it much from the match itself, but I'm just happy it is over.
so that brings me to my next question, Sazi. Where does
Hmm.
King Corbin go from
Ah, that is something I'm not sure. Maybe he should take a break for like couple of episodes or something,
here?
because
Yeah.
he recently had a lengthy feud with Roman Reigns,
Uh-huh.
right? And you know like and after that he haven't had any strong storyline, and he was just shoved into the match with Elias.
Uh-huh.
So maybe he should be given a break till WWE finds some new character, or let's say a better face for
Hmm.
him to fight. Or if not, maybe we can get the King of the Ring back. He
Yeah,
can
yeah, that
start
would be awesome.
putting his yeah, he can start putting his crown on the line. you know that can be a better good thing to do with him, because
Yeah,
the man can cut promos. He can be he can do lots of entertaining stuff.
absolutely. He can be that dickhead heel that we've not seen
Exactly.
for a while, right?
Mm-hmm. Right, right. And WWE loves those kind of heels. They, let's say, Sammy and Kevin Owens, when
Yeah.
they were a
Wow.
heel, they were
Wow.
the assholes, the with all these mischievousness, all these shenanigans going
Yes.
around. They were
Yes.
entertaining.
They were pretty entertaining.
I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
So that's my question. So, I don't know. Maybe he should take a break for a couple of
mhm,
episodes, or maybe King of the Ring should come back.
yes. Yes. Of course. Maybe that, or maybe yeah. Corbin needs a break, man. He needs a solid break because he's been there for a
Hmm.
long while
Hmm.
and he's been performing every single night. And maybe he's appearing too much on television, and maybe the fans are taking him for granted. And all of a sudden, he goes away for
Yeah.
some time, and then he returns to a large pop, and then maybe we can actually build great heel from there. So, yeah, Corbin needs a break. Yeah, to be. I'd
Yeah.
like to ask you.
And the most importantly, like, he has lost so many matches in recent years, like recent month, and all of these losses, it affects his character a lot. The character loses the credibility, and
Yes,
maybe he should take some breaks right now.
yes, Yes, very true. Okay, so next match, Becky Lynch defends against Sarah Baszler. What are your thoughts on it,
I was
Sajid?
so looking forward for this match.
Uh-huh.
I wanted Baszler to win, so like it was. I so much wanted Baszler to win, and I think that would have been the most sensible thing to do after
Hmm.
Baszler eliminated all seven of
Hmm.
her opponents in Elimination Chamber.
Yes.
After giving that much of a build to Shayna, and after the dominating performance that she had in the NXT, she loses to Becky Lynch. I'm not sure. Like Becky Lynch is just like uh, she somehow got the golden shovel out of John Cena. I believe that, and she's beating everyone. The match was good actually. Like I did not expected that much out of this match.
Yeah,
I because Becky has not been giving the best matches recently,
absolutely.
but this was. You agree, right? Like
Yeah, I
she is
do. I do.
great
Of course, I
in
do.
mic. She is entertaining. I love her, but she has not been giving the best matches like she used to, right? And that is why I didn't had much expectation from her, from this match especially. But I love the match. Match was good actually. Match was decent. I love the match, but I hated the finish. I just hated the finish.
Um, like I actually didn't want this thing to be a good match. Actually, I wanted Becky to be jobbed out to Shayna, and then Shayna beating her within a few seconds or minutes after applying the Kurufira clutch, because like the way Shayna Baszler was built in NXT, and all of a sudden are call up to the main roster, eliminating each and everybody in the elimination chamber. I mean, I wanted her to like just beat Becky. I mean, that would have like done way good to her character. Maybe WWE has struck a deal with Ronda Rousey or something. I don't know, man. But then
Nah,
the match
I don't
itself
know,
was okay,
but
but then I was looking forward to something like great about it. I was looking forward to
yeah,
Shayna
like Beck,
actually killing Becky.
you know,
So that didn't happen, and like
Baszler was built in a such a way, like even if Becky had lost to Baszler, it
mhm,
wouldn't have affected her, like her, like let's say, her character, because she Baszler was built in a way, she eliminated all seven of her opponent on the elimination chamber. That was unexpected, and like she was a great like NXT champion,
yeah,
and she even won the Survivor Series match with a Survivor Series match with Bailey and Becky. So
mhm,
I really thought Baszler should have won, but it didn't happen. I'm disappointed about it.
yeah, of
That's
course.
that's my take on this.
Yeah, me too. Actually, yeah, I'm just disappointed about the ending because Becky didn't need a win. She had already had a title
Yeah,
for about a year or so. That's a good run.
yeah,
She
yeah.
actually
That's a
elevated
great
the,
run actually.
yeah, SmackDown Women's title. She maybe
Hmm.
like she could have like Baszler could have just won this match, and then Becky could have taken a
My
break or
question
something.
with WWE is, like, where do Becky go from here? Like she has just defeated everyone on the roster. Now,
Uh-huh.
who is left? Either Ronda should come back,
Mhm.
which I don't want her to, right? But and who else is left now? Charlotte? Do you
Uh,
want
no, no, no,
to
no.
hear
That
her? Do you want Becky to battle Charlotte again?
absolutely not.
Nothing, right?
Absolutely not.
That
That's like,
does not make sense. They have
yeah,
been fighting forever.
yeah,
So
exactly.
mm,
I don't know, man.
that's my point. Like what's going forward for Becky? If Baszler had won, maybe
Mhm.
Becky could have taken a break or maybe come back later on to challenge Baszler or anyone again. You know, that would have been great.
Of course, and maybe like I don't know, Shayna should have won this match. I don't know, but then yeah, I'm really disappointed about
No
the
worries.
victory
All
this
right.
time.
That's right. I like the match, but
Mhm.
like I just wanted Baszler to win. So moving forward, one of the
Ah,
match that I was waiting for, waiting, like so excitedly. It's the Great Liberator Sami Zayn versus our own Daniel Bryan, the El Generico versus Bryan Danielson.
yes, of course, of course.
Sami Zayn obviously had his like the artist collectives like by his side on the ring, and Daniel Bryan had Drew Gulak.
Uh-huh.
What did you think about this match?
Uh,
I had
this
lots
match
of
was like
expectations.
pretty good. I mean, Zayn being that asshole
Mhm.
heel, he actually refused to face Bryan, and he was continuously running away from
Yeah.
him initially. I mean, of course,
Uh-huh.
like Zayn did it like portrayed himself as the biggest heel in the company at this point of time.
Hmm.
And once Daniel got his hands on Zayn, he actually like beat him up. He actually tried to murder him at one point of time, and too many distractions.
uh,
And I actually wanted to
hmm
see them fight it out, but then that didn't happen. Like for once, Zayn
hmm
got his moment, and then they were battling out after that clothesline. And but then
hmm
again, too many distractions. But that haluva kick, wow, it was really great.
Yeah,
And one, two, three.
that
That's
haluva
how,
kick
yeah, that's how
was
Brian
great.
got the victory. I mean, that's how Zayn got the victory there. So
Zayn.
it was pretty
Hmm.
good. I mean, the end result was pretty good. I didn't want Sami Zayn to lose his Intercontinental title just in the first defense itself.
Just yet.
So, and
Yeah.
Brian laying down, Brian now being one of the biggest names in the company, didn't need a win. So, Brian laying down for Zayn, that was a
Hmm.
pretty good decision. But then I was like looking forward to more of a wrestling match rather than too many
Uh-huh.
distractions. You, Sazi, being one of the biggest fans of Sami Zayn, what are your thoughts on it?
I love him.
Yeah.
I love him, right? I always wanted him to get a title shot and get a title. He
Uh-huh.
won the title, but like he was not wrestling in that in that match though.
Yeah.
But still, I'm just happy that he has the title in his hand. And I had lots of expectations from this match.
Uh-huh.
Like Zayn and Brian being both of them being one of like my favorites, and both of them being tremendous athletes that they are. Like you said, I wanted a little bit of more wrestling
Mhm.
into it, but still, like I love the shenanigans from Sami Zayn itself. Like the chase, the running away from the ring that he did every time. I loved
Uh-huh.
it. Like let's say it was like I said, like expected a little bit of more wrestling in the match, but
Mhm.
still, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the match and
Yeah.
that haluva kick.
Man,
The
that
Brian
was
coming
impressive.
out, like coming from the top rope and that haluva kick. Man, loved it, loved it. I don't have any complaints with this match.
Yeah, it was impressive. Maybe
Yeah. Mhm.
WWE is saving the wrestling part for some time in the future where they got like crowds to cheer about it. I
Maybe.
mean, I'm sure you
Maybe,
feel.
but I don't have much expectation from WWE. Yeah, we have talked about this so many times. Like
Yeah,
one of the dream matches about like which we thought would be a great wrestling match: AJ Styles versus
versus
Shinsuke
Nakamura.
Nakamura. WWE ruined it.
Yeah,
WWE ruined that feud, and like the great wrestling match it could have been, it just was wasted. So I don't have much expectations from WWE in terms of wrestling.
absolutely, sir. Absolutely. I actually wanted them to wrestle, but then yeah, I'm sure you remember
Yeah.
Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura, right? In Nakamura's debut match. I
Hmm.
mean, you know how
Yeah.
he is. I mean, that would like Sami Zayn should be given more ring time. I mean, more wrestling
He
should
should,
be added.
like he's got moves, like he is I've seen lots of his matches from Ring of Honor
Mhm.
with Kevin Steen, Kevin Owens,
Yeah.
right? As El Generico, and
Uh,
I've seen matches of theirs from Evolve.
Mhm.
And I think like they are just great. They are like the most. They just give out one of the best matches in the
Yeah,
industry
of
right now.
course, of
And I would really like him to give a proper wrestling match sometime. And one questions I have, what do you think? Let's say the newly formed tag team that we have, Daniel Bryan and Drew Gulak. What do you think? Do you really think they should run after the tag team titles right now?
they can actually, to be honest, I mean, Daniel Bryan handpicked Drew Gulak, right? Because he's pretty
Yep.
impressed
Right.
with Drew Gulak, with his ring
Hmm.
abilities. Actually, the match they had
Yep.
was like really great in the bit.
Hmm.
So maybe, yeah, they'd make a good tag team, but then it wouldn't be wise to take it off from the current champions, which brings me to my next match. That was for the SmackDown
Yeah.
Tag Team Championship, defended
Uh-huh.
in the triple threat ladder match. And the match was originally scheduled as a tag team triple threat match, but then Miz being sick or
I'm not
something.
sure like if this has ever happened before,
I don't think so.
a
I mean,
tag team
tag
title
team means tag team, right?
being
So,
defended by just one of the tag team,
yeah,
one of the
what
tag
are your
partners.
what are your perception about this?
Hmm.
What is your perception about this match, sir? Please.
You know, look, we have followed tag team titles and tag team matches a lot since Hardy Boys,
Uh-huh.
Edge and Christian, Dudley Boys, and like tag teams are more entertaining because of the fast-paced matches, because of the like we don't need to see the same guy wrestle, and like let's say we can have the switch of the wrestlers in between the matches, and like let's say, and the most importantly, the tag team moves, like two guys like doing lots of thing to one, like let's say lots of tag moves, right? Those are the most important part of a tag team wrestling. I was not really happy at the like in the beginning, like when the announcement was there that only one of the tag teams will be like participating in the match. I was not really happy, but when the time came for the match, it was pretty decent. I love the match actually.
Mhm.
But I expected it so much from John Morrison and uh, Kofi Kingston. I'm
Mhm.
happy with John Morrison's performance, and I'm so like looking at him at this age, the things that he can do,
Mhm.
man, that's just awesome. That's awesome.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this match, I mean, the finish again. Like there was ladder on top of ladder, and the ladder was wedged between the rope and the second ladder. And as Morrison fell, he grabbed the titles as it was hooked on that. He unhooked it maybe, and then thus like
Uh,
Morrison retained the title.
I think this finish of the match was one of the you know something which was unexpected. I did not expected this match to finish this way. You
Yeah,
know,
it was the
it was
ultimate.
something. Yeah, it was something so unexpected that I liked it. I loved it.
It was the WrestleMania
This,
finishes.
yeah, like the funny part. There was a funny part when all three of them were on top of the ladder and like
Uh,
they were fighting. Like I got it first. I got it first.
yeah,
Like bunch of
absolutely.
kids were fighting about a toy, and I was laughing at that moment, right? And all of a sudden, Morrison falls down. He has a title in his hand, and the match is over.
Yeah,
And it was a shocking moment.
my
I like the
goodness.
finish.
My goodness, the bumps that Morrison took in this match. I mean, at one point of time,
Uh-huh.
I thought he was injured or something during that ladder
That's
spot
right.
outside the ring.
That's right. Like this guy, I loved him when he was as an M&M. Like Morrison and Nitro.
Yeah,
I loved him. Then the John Morrison transition as well in the ECW. I like, like I love this guy for his abilities and everything. He was never given the main event status, but I think he should be, when he still has the moves and everything, because the man does not have much, much time in his career. I'm not sure. Like he is above 40 already, I believe, isn't it?
Uh, yeah, he's above 40. He's been there for
Mm.
a while,
He's
hasn't he?
40 already.
Yeah.
He has been here for a long while, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah, of
I
course.
I I followed lots of his matches in Lucha Underground.
Mhm.
He was
Yeah,
named Johnny Mundo there,
Johnny Mundo.
and the man has like 10 names. Everywhere he goes, he got some name. Man, but the guy is amazing, right? WWE should at least give him a great run before he goes out of the business.
Yes,
He's
of course,
retiring.
of
I
course.
think
I
that's
totally
my
agree.
point.
Totally agree. Totally agree to that. And yeah, Morrison was great in this match. In fact, credit to all three guys. I mean, like without the crowd to perform, without that adrenaline rush to perform in an empty
Hmm.
arena, without the fans, I mean, it's definitely difficult. And these guys didn't disappoint. Kudos to
Yeah,
WWE for like
all
giving
those
us this
bumps,
title match.
those were like great, great, great. All those bumps. And about the bumps, so we are coming to the next match.
Hmm.
I think this was one of the most decent storyline built in
Yeah.
a long time. I loved it. It's Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins,
Hmm.
which was a normal match as it was supposed to be,
Hmm.
but then was changed to no DQ in the middle
Uh,
of the match.
uh-huh.
What did you think about this spot?
Yeah, I mean, this was a long-term booking thing. Actually, this was the best book match in the entire card, I think, after Otis and Dolph Ziggler, right? So this was a great book match. Right? Kevin Owens taking on Seth Rollins, the god of WWE, maybe. And
The
initially, I was
Messiah.
kind of disappointed once the match finished due to a DQ after Rollins attacked him with the ring
Yeah,
bell. And Owens, of course,
yeah.
Owens being that great on the mic itself, was allowed to cut a promo in the WrestleMania, like he does great with the mic thing. So he was allowed to cut a promo in a WrestleMania match, and then he did his part there and convinced Rollins to actually fight in a no DQ. And then Owens with that insane spot where he like elbowed Rollins from the top of the WrestleMania sign, got him back to the ring, stunned him 1, 2, 3. I mean that's how a feud should be. WrestleMania
Uh,
should be WrestleMania matches should be like that, man. It was built properly, right? The heels getting the
mhm.
upper hand again and again, again and again in different pay-per-views, in different weekly shows, Raw and SmackDown, and all of a sudden in the showcase of the Immortals WrestleMania, we've got this face that everybody loves, Kevin Owens, like getting the win. I mean, that's how a storyline should be built, and WWE did pretty good with this, I guess. So, what are your thoughts?
As I think yes, and I love their feud, and the best part is I always loved heel Rollins.
Uh-huh.
This guy is something else when he is heel, right? With the authority and all those times, like when he debuted in Shield as well, like when they were a heel. I love this guy as a heel, and this new character, the new persona that they have come up with,
Hmm.
the Messiah of Monday Night Raw.
Hmm.
I think like this it suits him so much. Rollins has been called the CrossFit Jesus for so
Yeah,
long,
yeah.
and
That's
he is taking it seriously, and he's taking it further. He's just playing on with it, and I think it suits him so much. It suits him a lot.
yeah,
And
man.
most importantly, I was happy there was no outside interference in the match. I didn't wanted Buddy Murphy or AOP or anyone to interfere. I just wanted them to have have a brawl, a wrestling match, something great, and I got it. I'm happy with it, and I am happy the feud ended in a high note, in the highest ground, and with the great match.
Yeah,
nothing
of
much I
course.
can ask for.
Of course, man. That was a great. I mean, you don't have any doubts about Owens and Rollins as in workers, right? They're absolutely great
Mm-hmm.
in the
Nope,
independent
nope.
circuit.
Yep.
Before they came to WWE, both were stars in Ring of Honor,
Hmm.
and all of a sudden they're here. They are treated finally, Kevin Owens is treated as a main eventer, maybe, right? So
Yes, and
this
finally
was a,
he got that WrestleMania moment.
yeah, he
This guy
actually
has been in
deserved it, man.
WWE for a long time.
Yeah,
He was the second ever Universal champion, right?
yes, of course.
And this guy haven't won WrestleMania match?
Oh,
Haven't he? Like, I'm not sure because Rollins said in Raw before WrestleMania, right? In the last Raw in the Go Home show, that Kevin Owens doesn't have any track record in WrestleMania. Like, is it really true? He has not won any WrestleMania matches. I'm not sure. I haven't gone back and watched it.
of course,
You have any
without a
idea
shadow.
about it?
I'm not sure, but then, like he said, when the pressure comes to him, and Rollins actually
Mm.
is a god, like he said that. So yeah,
Yeah,
under pressure, I become a god was Rollins' exact words, I guess. So
exact words. Yeah.
yeah, actually, yeah, that was pretty good. It was pretty good. I mean, getting a good now. Owens should be pushed after this. I mean, no, without a shadow of a doubt. Owens should be
Yep. I
pushed
think
after this.
right.
Maybe Rollins should be pushed as well. Let's see what WWE has in store for us. I'm very excited
Yeah,
about
he is a
them.
great heel. He recently turned heel and he has a faction with him. So I think, like it will only be a, like a good idea to push him and, like give him some new opponents.
Yes, yes, yes. So brings us to our penultimate and the final match. Goldberg
Not the final.
defending his Universal Championship against Roman Reigns. Oh wait, no, it's Braun Strowman, and
Oh,
WWE did not even let us know why Braun Strowman was brought to this match. Your
yeah, they just made it
perception
look
about
like
this, Sajid?
Roman
I
Reigns
mean,
was, they just made it look like Roman Reigns was never a part of the match. You know, you remember the first promo that Roman Reigns, like had with Goldberg? He
yes,
came out, right? And he said, "I'm next." And Goldberg said, "What did he say?" He said nothing. He just smiled and right. And this match that he had with Braun Strowman was shorter than that promo. It was a match a total of 2 minutes and 10 seconds, and
all right,
right. And I believe Goldberg has his entrance longer than this match.
yeah, of course, of course.
I imagine, like what is the conversation Braun Strowman and Goldberg had, like before they came out for the match. Maybe, like Goldberg just said, "What do you got?" Braun Strowman, like, "I got power slam. Or I'll give you four power slam. I'll hit you four of my spears. You hit me four of your power slam. The match is over." They
Exactly
agreed.
the same thing happened, and he actually, like, at once, as like Goldberg once tried the jackhammer, and I was like, no, 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 this is gonna be a botch, and don't,
It would
thank.
have broken his back.
Yeah, of course, that could have like
Damn.
ended Strowman's career. I mean, I was that scared, like, but then thankfully, Strowman won this match. It was pretty good, right? But then the build was shit, man. The build was shit. Strowman maybe
Yeah,
there should have been a crowning
build.
moment for
They could
Braun
have
Strowman.
they could have done a little bit more with the build. Maybe, like just couple of video package would have done just fine. They don't even need to, mm, like, because everybody knows that right now, like due to the pandemic, everything is being taped. They can
Yeah,
just have they could have taped a couple of backstage interviews. That would have done, like that would have been just fine.
of course.
Not sure.
Yes.
I'm completely not happy with how they treated this match. by like Roman being out and Goldberg and Braun Strowman entering the match. Like no official announcement. They announced it through tweet and Michael Cole. Those are the two mediums who mentioned like changes in the match with no explanation at all. I hated the build and everything. I hated the match. I'm happy that Strowman now has the title, and we finally have a full-time wrestler getting the most prestigious title of WWE.
Yeah, yes, of
That's
course.
all I have to say.
Goldberg.
Like I hated the match. There's nothing to talk about the match. So I'm
Yeah,
just
and
happy
there
that Braun
were
Strowman has the title
rumors
now.
that Goldberg contract is up. He's not signing a new deal,
Yeah.
right?
He is
So
not. Do like c- can you imagine like Goldberg is being paid like about $3 million per year for
he
like
doesn't
two
deserve that
matches
much, man.
and four appearance, and why the hell that much money being wasted for someone who can't even wrestle anymore?
Of course, he can't. He just hits
Like
a spear.
all he can do is hit a spear, and if the opponent is small, he can get a jackhammer. That's it.
Yeah,
You know, you remember the botch that happened in Saudi Arabia with the Undertaker.
that nearly ruined
Man, that
Undertaker's
was a
character,
disaster.
right?
That was a disaster, man. That was a disaster.
Yeah, of
So
course.
I'm if Goldberg's like contract is up, then I'm happy it's up, and I'm
Uh,
happy that I don't need to see him wrestle again.
yeah, then
And I
WWE
no
should.
ill feeling towards Goldberg. Like I loved him when I was like maybe 10 years back. I liked him. I loved him. Loved his appearance, but not now. Please, no more.
Of course. Maybe his career should have ended with the Hall of Fame from the WWE.
What do you think about? Let's say Braun Strowman now has the title.
Hmm.
Who do you think he should feud with? Who do you think should come back? Like for the title. Who do you think should challenge Braun Strowman for the title?
I
Because
don't
he's
know,
a
man.
monster among man.
Yeah,
He
I
can't,
don't know.
like
I
he
mean,
cannot lose right now.
yeah. So there should be a proper like storyline or maybe something massive to take the title of Strowman. That is what is
Hmm.
a big problem with big guys as champions, right? I mean,
Yeah, like it's really hard to take titles off of them.
yeah.
Like, and
Before,
at this point of time, WWE has not been building almost lot of the guys.
of
They
course.
only have a handful of people, like who can main event or who can challenge for the main title. They don't
Especially,
have
I
much,
don't see many people from the SmackDown roster who can main event. I mean, John Morrison
yeah,
is there currently with the tag team championship.
in the tag team.
Again, the
Mm.
New Day, Kofi had his run maybe, and
You
Big
know
E
what?
maybe.
I just thought maybe Big E. Maybe
Yeah,
I think he's a big guy, and like he is a good character. Maybe he should get a shot.
yeah. Only if New Day turns heels, Aziz, man. Because
Yeah,
like,
that is
yeah,
okay.
and with something like a black attire, maybe New Day coming to the ring, and then that
And
would
not
dent
throwing the
WWE's merchandise sales,
Booty-O's
man.
anymore. Yeah, but they are not going to turn heel anytime soon. They are the one of the biggest merchandise sales. They have the biggest merchandise sales right now. So I'm pretty sure they are not turning heel.
Mhm.
No, like, but maybe we just need to wait and watch.
Yeah,
I
man.
don't, I
Because
don't have anyone that who,
I don't know. I'm not
yeah.
sure about putting the title back on the Fiend Bray
Hmm.
Wyatt because he just had his
Uh,
run and he doesn't need the title, right?
it's not just that he just had a run. Like let's say if there is a feud between Braun Strowman and the Fiend, the question will be who is going to get buried. Like
Yeah, of course.
Fiend cannot win. Fiend cannot lose. One thing.
Oh no, he
Fiend
can't.
cannot lose, and Strowman, after building him so much, you can't have him lose as well in his first defense,
Defense itself. Maybe someone like Sheamus
right?
then?
So
I don't know, man. The SmackDown roster.
yeah, I think Sheamus is great. He's in SmackDown roster. I think so.
Yeah,
I think yes, Sheamus is someone who can challenge Braun Strowman for the title.
of course.
He
Because
is
I
a
don't
guy.
see. Um, much happening with the
Hmm.
SmackDown roster at this point of time.
Yeah. All right. That's being that. We're happy Braun Strowman has the title now, and we're not sure who should challenge him. We have
Hmm.
so let's moving on. The Everybody's calling it the best match
Oh,
of WrestleMania. One of the best matches Undertaker had in years, and it was the longest match in the card itself.
yeah.
What do you think about the Boneyard match?
The Boneyard match, which is called Buried Alive match, and WWE couldn't use that term
Uh-huh.
because of the current
Why?
scenario of the world, I guess, and they've not
Oh,
used it.
maybe.
So yeah, it's the Boneyard match now, and wow, just one
Like
single
there
word
was
to
a spot,
describe it.
you remember? Like
Wow, I've
there was a
never
spot.
seen anything as such. I mean, right from the entrance
I
scene
loved
itself,
it as
Sajid.
well.
Yeah,
Uh, I
right
loved
from
the entrance of Undertaker. I wanted him to come back as American Badass. He finally did. I wanted him to come back as an American Badass when he lost that lost that WrestleMania match with Roman Reigns. When he put down his hat and coat in the ring and walked out. I really thought, if he ever comes back, he should come back as an American badass. But that didn't happen at that point of time. And finally, we're seeing him, and I loved it. I loved it. Like
the
it was like watching a movie, right? Like it was just a Hollywood movie that WWE produced, a
Of
better
course,
one.
of course. And after the match with CM Punk, maybe last time Undertaker
Hmm.
was actually in a good match. This was perfect. I mean, the way it was portrayed right from the beginning
Hmm.
with his American badass gimmick and OC interference, like punching them all. And in the middle of the match, the old dead man appears from nowhere after getting beaten up by AJ Styles and after getting inside the tomb. And he comes back with the old Undertaker, and then he again beats the hell out of AJ Styles. He throws him from the top of warehouse rooftop, and then all of a sudden, Gallows and Anderson are like thrown off the rooftop, and then at last he buries his stars, and that last scene, like, he just swipes off that tomb where it's written AJ Styles, searches for his scarf, puts it on his head, rides his motorbike, like, brings out the
It
fire.
works out.
There's the Undertaker logo, and then rides away, man. That's just a satisfying ending to a brilliant show.
Yep. One thing that we know and we should all agree that is Undertaker is getting old. He cannot give the five-star matches like he used to, right?
Absolutely,
There are lots of things that he cannot do. But
unquestionably.
when you have a pre-taped match, like with lots of cuts and retakes,
Mhm.
I think, like with this kind of match, I think he can go on forever, man. Like he can, just let's say when in a live match it's so like it's so hard to see Undertaker, like he not being able to move as he used to,
Mhm.
and seeing the Undertaker in that situation, it's so hard to cope with that, right? But looking
Of
at
course,
this match, it showed the Undertaker as the dominating guy he always was.
and yeah, of course, and like at that time, he was like uttering words in the middle of the match. You don't see that with the Deadman Taker.
Man,
However, with the
lots of
American Badass
changes
gimmick, like,
in yep. Mhm.
you
Lots of
actually
change,
used to hear
like
him
exchange of
swear.
dialogues.
Yeah.
Like there was a point where AJ Styles was crying to Undertaker, like, Taker, don't bury me. Don't bury me, Taker, don't bury me. And Taker was saying, we're not done yet, boy. We're not done yet.
Wow,
Now, I
we're
have a
just getting
question here,
started.
like, I want to know, like, now, how do you think AJ Styles is going to come back? You know,
No, actually,
Taker is,
WWE is building this match
you know,
more. I mean, they're saying that AJ Styles is out of action. I don't know for when.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, till when?
Okay.
So they're actually building this match in a good way, actually. I mean, after this kind of a match, I don't see it coming back anytime soon. Just for the sheer respect for this match
You know,
and the way
let's
that's
say,
been treated by the audience, live audience at home.
the Undertaker is a phenomenal character. He is a super, let's say, what do we call it? He's a dark character. He's a dead man. He Even if he is buried alive, he can come back and nobody will ask any question.
Hmm.
But AJ Styles is a human being. He just got buried alive. And if he comes back, what will be the sensible justification or explanation for that? That is what I'm looking at. And I love the match, like even the finish. I loved Undertaker winning it, right? And everything. But when the match end, and like when AJ Styles' hand was sticking out of that ground, I
Hmm.
was thinking, telling myself, and how is he coming back from this?
Yeah, of
The
course,
guy literally
WWE.
got buried alive. Like the sensible thing is when a human being gets buried alive, he dies.
Of course, yeah. So I guess WWE is building this thing up, right? So let's see. I mean,
Lots
wow,
of rumors going around. There was
I was
also
just,
one Instagram page uh, mentioned that this will be the last match of Undertaker, because that makes sense. Like if you remember when Taker was in Austin's show, the Broken Skull,
mhm. Yeah, I
what he
do.
mentioned was he has been, like trying to retire for some time now.
Mhm. Yeah.
He wanted the Roman Reigns match to be the last one. He really wanted the Brock Lesnar match to be last one, but he got concussed and he don't remember the match,
Hmm.
so he had to come back. And he again wanted the Roman Reigns match to be the last one, but
Hmm.
somehow Vince convinced him for a tag team match. He came back for a tag team match, and then he did not wanted his last match to be a tag team match, so he is coming back again and again. And he came back for the Goldberg, and the match was a disaster, and he didn't wanted his match to be that one, so he came back. This is something which is a great match. I believe Undertaker is satisfied as well. So
Hmm.
you never know. Like there was a rumor that once the taping was over, Undertaker said to Vince that it is my life. Like this is I'm done. And Vince cried. I'm not sure like if it is true, but that is what the rumor is.
I mean, I like to see biker taker much often. I mean, it's just getting started. I feel it that way.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
Actually,
biker taker
even
is.
I would like to. I'd like to see him come back, maybe turn heel one last time.
Mhm,
Get a faction of his own.
mhm,
Get a couple of guys from NXT. Maybe the Forgotten Sons. They have a biker gimmick, right?
mhm,
So take them under his wing
mhm.
and have a great run. As the leader of the gang. I think in that way, he can really get those guys over. And when
Yeah,
Undertaker will can turn heel, when he turns heel, he can also get like his opponent over. Because let's face it, till the time Undertaker is the face, he's a legend, and anyone defeating Undertaker will get booed.
yeah, and he can't alone turn heel, right? Because he actually nobody would believe the Undertaker turning heel. The single guy, the individual, the Undertaker turning heel. So
Right.
we would
Hmm.
require a faction to justify that heel character, and maybe to
Yes,
elevate
I would
someone,
love
push
for him to
someone.
have a faction.
Yeah, of course. So
If
yeah,
if it can happen, lots of guys will be benefited from it. The Undertaker's opponent, the guy who he takes under his wings, you know,
yeah,
and
of
I
course.
think I would love it. Lots of audience will love it as well.
Yeah, and
But let's
you
see.
being the heel and you having a faction, you don't have to work much in the ring as well. So yeah,
Yeah,
I think
when you
that
are a
would
heel,
be,
you really don't have to work much in the ring.
yeah, that would be awesome.
Look at Sami Zayn.
Yeah, look at him. Just
The guy
perform
can
maybe.
work, but he just doesn't need to.
two or three moves, and then he's up and running.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
All right.
we're
So yeah,
done.
so the night one was over. Night
Mm-hmm,
first night was over.
mm-hmm,
It was great. I loved the matches and everything,
uh-huh,
right? And I think it was so much better than lots of other so much better than other pay-per-views, so much better than what I even expected.
mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
let's say, if you are give
it was one of the best
so what do you
WrestleMania
think? You
pay-per-views,
like,
to be honest.
yeah, I think right. And
Yeah.
being the global this COVID-19, making an effect, and being in an empty performance center, I really didn't had much expectation. But whatever happened, I think it happened for the best. All the matches were great, and I liked it, except the Blue Universal title match.
Yeah,
Everything else was great.
that that actually didn't make any sense. Yeah. So yeah, that brings us to the end of the show. The part one of this podcast for WrestleMania. We have part two. Too big for one night is the slogan this year. So we have part two tomorrow,
Yeah,
and we'll
I think
be
the WrestleMania too big for one night. I think this is great.
yeah.
It used to be a 7 hour show, and it was haunting to sit through all those all those hours. At
Hmm.
the around the end of the match, we would be drained. All the energy would be gone. You can't just sit around for 7 hours and expect to have same energy till the end, right? And since in January, Wrestle Kingdom, when New Japan did their Wrestle Kingdom, a 2 day show,
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
loved it. And I really wished WrestleMania could be a 2 day show as well. And I think this happened. It is great. What do you think? One thing. Do you, let's say, once this pandemic is over, and once the normal operation begins, would you like WrestleMania to continue as a 2 days event?
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, this makes pretty good sense. So 3 hours per day, and the night one being bigger, and night two big nights in a row, and that's really magnificent. And I would like that to happen every single time now,
Right?
right? WWE should learn to
Yeah,
adapt
yeah.
to changes.
Lots, because this is something, it can be great. You don't need 7 hours of a show,
Hmm.
and you can divide. I think dividing it into 2 days, it can even be more profitable financially.
Hmm.
I don't know. I just feel, I'm not really sure, but I think it might.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
So that
I think this, I would love to see. I love to continue WrestleMania as a 2 days event. I love
yeah,
it.
me too. Me too. I'd like to say this more often. So yeah, this brings us to our show. End of the show. We'll be back again after our part two of WrestleMania tomorrow.
Yeah,
See
I
you
think there are
everybody till
lots of
then.
great matches in part two as well.
Yeah, of
Right?
course.
I'm
And
really
I'm
eager
waiting
to
for that
to
Otis
see.
versus Dolph Ziggler match, Savi.
Yeah, I'm eager to see what happens with that, and
Yeah,
I'm really eager to see Edge back in action in
yeah.
one
And
match
it's
with
really
Randy
sad
Orton.
that he's back in action after 9 years in an empty arena.
And
But yeah,
yeah,
but
right.
then yeah,
That
this
is
is really.
something.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah, that
but
is
then let's
something.
see.
But let's see. Let's see. It might be good or something. And
Yeah.
after looking at today's Boneyard match, I really I have so much expectation for Fiend's, the Firefly Funhouse match with Fiend and John Cena. I'm not really sure what Firefly Funhouse match is, but
Yeah.
after looking at Boneyard, I think this is something. This can be good. All right.
Yeah, of
So
course,
let's
of
see.
course.
Let's see what we have in stores for tomorrow. Let's see what we have, and we will definitely get back. right? After the mania is over, after the second night is over, we'll definitely be back and we'll discuss about what happened and
Hmm.
we will talk wrestling, right?
Yeah, of course. We will talk wrestling. Good night, guys. See you tomorrow. Have a great
All
day.
right. All right. Good night, guys. We'll talk wrestling tomorrow. See ya. Bye bye.
Bye bye.